The dumb ways you've died in Breath of the Wild. And we're gonna play a little game. If you've died to one of these things, you have to subscribe by law. And if you haven't, you can just yell at me in the comments. I don't know. You can do something. When restarting Breath of the Wild or starting a master mode run, a lot of people jump off cliffs forgetting they just don't have the paraglider. It's like second nature to us. We're so used to having it. Late game or not, you've run out of stamina while gliding or climbing. It's so infuriating when you're so close to where you're trying to go, but the Breath of the Wild gods say no. Ever since they were discovered, wind bombs have been the go-to traveling method for a lot of players. Rightfully so too. It's amazing. But you want to know what's not amazing? Having to learn how to wind bomb. It's not forgiving, and you've definitely died to this. Early game mountain scaling can be a dangerous stunt. We already have range, stamina, and other things to deal with. When getting to the top of a cliff or mountain, sometimes it'll just be a man just standing there. And sometimes the man's hostile. You've had to have died from an angry goat ramming you off the side of the cliff. It happens to everyone. Bombs near fire don't normally work out, so equipping bomb arrows in a deadly fire region probably isn't the best idea. Never do it. Zelda speedrunning and speedrunning in general has really blown up in the last couple of years, and I know a lot of you have tried it at least once. In a speedrun, you could die from the cold, enemies, and even your own stupidity. So you know in the beginning of the game where you're on the Great Plateau or something? Yeah, that one. And you have to survive freezing temperatures at one point? Yeah, so a little short story about that. My first time playing the game, I just jumped straight into the water. Yeah, just right in. No, I don't know what I was thinking, and yes, I did die. I know at least one of you have done this. It's very common. Even just normal water is dangerous early game. If you decide you want to get from point A to point B and you didn't bring stamina elixirs, well, I guess you're out of luck there, bud. And of course, this was a little bit more obvious, but lava's lava. And there's fire. Yep, fire. There's fire too. It hurts, actually. Little known fact. For the people that actually care about doing as many shrines as possible, you've definitely come across this shrine very often. The infamous major test of strength. If you don't know, this shrine makes you fight a guardian with just an insane amount of health. My first time, it didn't go so great. You've definitely died to Thunderblight. There's no way you haven't died to Thunderblight. Everyone that I talked to says it took like 13 attempts to get him to phase 2. There's 2 attacks that really get you. There's the one where he zooms at you and what? I'm supposed to just react to that? There's even the phase 2 attack where he drops metallic pillars on you. Oh, but no, that wasn't enough. The man shoots lightning down on them, and since they're metallic, they conduct electricity, so guess what? You're just dead. These ones are dumb because of just how hard they are. I really need to go outside. It's common knowledge that Lynels are deadly, but if you ever stood at a distance from one, you'll know that they have the insane ability to shoot arrows into the sky and have them land on you somehow. I don't understand it either. I've died to this, and so have you. There's no way you haven't. You ever just walking, don't know where you're going, but you're going, and out of nowhere, this happens. A lot of players know that because you're holding a metallic weapon, you'll get struck by lightning. But see, the game doesn't tell you that this happens, so you're left to figure it out on your own. Oh god. Remember when everyone was making flying machines? A flying machine was made by placing a minecart in another minecart and using magnesis on the bottom minecart, allowing you to essentially make your own Tears of the Kingdom style aircraft. The only problem with this is these things were extremely unstable. You can get 500 feet in the air and it would just give up on you, and you would fall to your death right down to the ground. If you ask someone, what's the leading cause of death in Hyrule? 90% of people will say guardians. The other percent of people will say inflation, but we're gonna ignore that. Lynels also fit into this category. I know I mentioned Lynels earlier, but I'm talking about Lynels in general. These things are insane, especially later game when they get all different colors. It's just a mess, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the #1 leading cause of death in Breath of the Wild is undoubtedly. No, it's just the inflation. I know I said it's only 10%, but the price of eggs have gone up since I said that. Hyrule's in big trouble. I have bills to pay. I have mouths to feed. I can't afford food for my kids. My kids! Things haven't been the same since the calamity. Hey, thanks so much for sticking around to the end. Thank you to Grazzy and Bread Pirate for voicing my starving children. That was really cool. And click here to see what your favorite Breath of the Wild armor set says about you.